Welcome to the highlights and match reaction show for the UEFA Champions League. We are sponsored by our partners for the entire season at Topskick 23. Topskick are the official digital collectibles app of the UEFA Champions League. Topskick is back for the 22-23 season, where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the Champions League with football fans all around the world. The app has new packs available every week, brand new cards, original artworks, and classic top card designs. Throughout the course of this season, I want to build with you the ultimate Champions League squad with Topskick. So get the app downloaded right now. It's available worldwide and it is free. I'm going to be playing along throughout the entire Champions League season from tonight right and through to the final, and I want to see you there. The link is available in the description below to download the Topskick 23 app. You can also scan the QR code that will be on the screen throughout the course of this stream. But make sure like buttons are being smashed. You're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big shout out to Tops. Let's do this. Controversy at the end of the night. Tottenham, a goal ruled out via VAR to deny Harry Kane the winner. Their fate goes down to the final match day 6 against Marseille. And we want to hear from you tonight on this, because that was one of the most borderline decisions you will see in football. It took an eternity to get to the final decision, and we want your thoughts and your feelings. Is that accurately adjudged to be offside? Why did it take so long? Have Tottenham been robbed here? Have Tottenham been robbed? That is the question. Or is all fair in love and war? Make sure the like button is being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Download Top Kicks as well. I'm joined tonight by Jessica Black and by KJ, but we want to hear from you in the comments section as well. But there's no other place to start than what just happened with Tottenham versus Sporting.
I don't know. It was like a typical, I think, Tottenham game that we've seen this season, where the other team has a lot of chances. Spurs get their chance, after putting some pressure on them, and they almost got away with it. And then VAR came to the rescue. No, I'm joking. VAR came in and did its job. And so I don't know how Spurs fans would have felt if they had gotten that last minute winner. I think they would have felt like, okay, well, that's what we deserve and it's fine. But I think over like the span of the 90 minutes, it was just a typical not great performance, even at home from Spurs. So yeah, I think some of them will feel aggrieved by the decision, but ultimately, like, it's Sporting. You should feel like at home, you should have probably put that game away a little bit earlier. Sporting had some really good chances to put you down. Yeah, it was funny.
Yo, listen. That is probably one of the greatest VAR decisions I've ever seen in my life. Not because it was right or wrong or whatever, just because the drama. You know what I'm saying? The drama, the last minute, the length of time. It was wonderful. I reckon UEFA said, screw it. Let's do this for the scenes. You know what I mean? Let's do this for their version of All or Nothing when they release it. You know what I mean? Like, UEFA, are we corrupt or not? That's what they should call it. But this Spurs, the Spurs fans will be angry about the VAR decision, but they should be more angry about the fact that their team got put in that position where they're scrambling last minute to try and get a winning goal.
And we will move on to the performance, and I think you're right to call that out. I think from my point of view, the question actually come up here. It says, Terry, I thought that offside was the first phase of play. Well, the deflection from the Sporting player wasn't a deliberate attempt to play the ball. The ball just hit him and bounced into Harry Kane's path. So that does not stop it from being offside. For me, it was how long it took them to draw those lines. And what we're also meant to be shown by UEFA is the 3D computerized imaging. It's meant to be almost instant. The fact it took so long, I understand why Tottenham fans are going to be frustrated with it. Yeah. You want it quicker. You want it to be a little bit slicker. What I would say to Tottenham fans, though, is this. go back to when you knocked Man City out of the Champions League, and they argued in exactly the same way that Tottenham fans are now, that it's marginal, it shouldn't take this long, it was given too late, the celebrations had already happened. So I can understand why Tottenham feel absolutely aggrieved. And I suppose I'm even trying to play devil's advocate here. I feel sorry for Tottenham in the way they lost it, but offside is offside is offside is offside. If the lines are drawn as offside, can it really be argued with?
And then the issue is, it's more of where was the ball? Because that's what the commentator was saying. Like, was Harry Kane in front of or behind the ball when the play was made? And I think when I saw the reverse angle, the angle where it's a bit closer and a bit more to the side, he looked in front of the ball. So I personally believe he was offside, and because the ball was also played across directly, I think that's what they're looking at.
Well, if you look at this here, the line on that touches the sort of the left-hand side of Emerson Royale's neck is also the last part of the ball that would be onside, if that makes sense. Yeah. Harry Kane's knee is what's offside. So it's the knee that you've got to look at. His knee is ahead of the ball. And it's very, very, I mean, in fairness, I've seen more marginal ones given. It's actually more, I've seen offside given that are less offside than that one there is. And I understand the pain because of the celebrations. It put Tottenham through. But it is offside. But I do want to hear what Tottenham fans have got to say about this. I want to know what the viewers have got to say about this in the comments section as well. We have some super chats to go to here. Thought they had won it. Let's laugh is what Dyke has got to say here. Spurs group final day will be mad. Anyone can go. And that's just it. And this makes this weekend difficult. The Spurs have got to go away to
Marseille.
This weekend in the Prem, they've got to go away to Bournemouth, who've had some decent form. That means no rotation, because Spurs are not going to want to lose points in the league and lose any more ground after 2 back-to-back defeats. It means they need to play their full team away in Marseille. That's hard to do. Remember, Antonio Conte's pedigree in the Champions League is poor. 34% win ratio. So that's definitely difficult indeed. Let's look at this here. Terry, don't let VAR distract you from the performance. And you know, Ash brings it up here. You've already mentioned it, KJ. It was the third poor performance on the bounce from Tottenham, and they don't look themselves at the minute, do they?
No, like, if I'm a Spurs fan now, I'm sitting there, it's like, what is this building to? Like, I see teams, you would see teams around you at Man United that you look like they're building something. You've got Chelsea look like they're building something. Arsenal, obviously, they've taken a few years, but they're building to something. And obviously Liverpool and Man City are where they are. But you look at the teams around you. Newcastle look like they're building to something. And so you look at the teams around Spurs, and it's like, where's this going? Because if you look at that Champions League group, I said it at the start, that is a Europa League group. Respect to everyone in there. They should not be struggling. They should not.
And the one thing that I will say is that there was a moment in time where Spurs were not playing well, but they were getting the results. And pundits and the media were saying, oh, when this team hits full strength, or when this team hits, their maximum gear, beware. But my whole thing was, I think that was as good as they could play. Really? Not today, but
I mean, like that period you're on about.
Yeah, I do. I think that's kind of the peak of their game is if you play this way, that is the ceiling of that way that you play. And when it's not perfect and you don't, the margins go against you. And that, for me, that's always been my point. Like,
Spurs are getting worse as the season goes on. And a few Champions League games ago, I called out and stated that the fans aren't happy. And do you know how you know the fans aren't happy? We're in October. We're a quarter of the way through the season, just over a quarter of the way through the season. And you've got fans like Patrick, who loves his club, by the way, issuing rallying cries online. We need to be strong tonight. We've got to be a fortress. We've all got to sing. We've all got to be positive. You don't tweet that unless there's pressure at you tweet that in the last 2 or 3 games of a season in a title race to give an extra gear. You don't tweet that in October. The Spurs have got problems right now, and the Spurs media won't want to talk about it. The Spurs fans on the terrace won't want to talk about it. I'll be watching your match review later, Depressions. You won't be talking about it. Oh, no, he will be, actually. But they're under a lot of pressure. That's 3 games without a win. And that's half their Champions League games so far this season without a win, maybe even more than half. There's 5 games played. They've won. I'm just checking this now. They've only won 2 of them. They've won 2 of their 5 Champions League games in a group. They all sat on our streams and said, easy, we're going through no problems. And the pressure's starting to build. Son talking about wanting to leave. There's lots of issues at the club right now. Jed Spence being disrespected left, right, and center, going out on loan. They've got problems right now, stylistically, performance-wise, and getting those wins. And that should not be ignored just because they're Tottenham.
And I think what makes it worse in terms of this is the second time that Sporting, in my opinion, have outplayed them. Like, Spurs fans will look at the last 10 minutes of the game where they had like the 2 dire chances, obviously the VAR decision at the end. They look at that and be like, we played so well. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't we get the win? Like, we should have won that game. But if you look at the 90 minutes as a whole, your guys are fortunate to have a draw. Because you got to remember, Sporting had those chances. That young man who came on, he had 2 chances to bury the game, put the game away, and it's game done. And they did not take their chances because obviously he's a young guy and the team on paper isn't as good. But you've got a coach in Amarin, you've got a team in Sporting who you can argue isn't even the best team in Portugal at the moment because of Porto and Benfica. You've got to look at them, you've got to look at yourself and be like, how has this happened twice now? What is Conte not doing to get us playing better football? And I'm not saying every game, but for games like this where you're supposed to be imposing yourself on the opposite team, he needs a better game plan.
They don't really impose themselves on anybody until they go down a goal. That's my narrative, and I'm sticking to it. I think usually I've heard Spurs fans say this, and I think that this was indicative of that. They're a second half team, and it usually comes after they're put under some pressure or the other team has scored. I always say those next 5 to 10 minutes, they're really quite dangerous. And so, I mean, it's just, is it pragmatism? Is it, something that Conte just can't move away from? Is it something that's, a style of play that, it doesn't work anymore? I don't know.
Well, maybe Antonio Conte's style of play is this. Maybe when you've got one of the best squads in the league in Chelsea, it works. When you've got one of the best squads in the league with Juve, best squads in the league with Inter, when you've got maybe and I'm going to be generous, 3rd, 4th, 5th best squad, some may say 6th best. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe, just maybe, you can't quite create that level of consistency in the way in which you play. And the Spurs players also look disenchanted for me right now. That you watch them play, you look at their body language, and yes, they tried to get back into the game, but I feel like half the time their heads are down. And yes, they were relieved to score that goal. And this is how you know they're under major pressure. Some fans invaded the pitch when the goal went in. I know one of the guys in normal clothes was Richarlison, but I saw a guy that definitely is Richarlison on the pitch, but there was definitely some people in that group who don't have the physique of athletes, right? Yeah. And they went like civvy clothes. That's how under pressure they are right now. And I'm not digging Tottenham out because they've got some very, very good players. I'm just speaking the truth. All is not well at White Hart Lane. And yes, Spurs are going to feel like you were robbed by VAR today. But for me, I even said before, I said, I'm going to go live. I'm going to be devil's advocate. I might try and side with Spurs. But the more I look at these stills, the more I look at these images, I can't do it. Offside is offside is offside is offside. And it cannot be argued with. It is a matter of fact. Harry Kane was offside. The goal was ruled out, but you should never have been relying on a 95th minute winner. You're playing Sporting Lisbon, and with all due respect to Sporting Lisbon, I don't think they make the top 6, top 7 in the Premier League. But ironically, Spurs haven't beaten anyone in the top 6 or top 7 this whole campaign. That is where the issue lies. Let's do some super chats. We're going to talk Liverpool as well today. Mo Salah, another masterclass from him in the Champions League. And I'm going to ask this question now before we get to it. Is he the greatest ever Champions League player from the Premier League? That is what we're debating tonight. So you better think of who your goats in that position are. Let me just do your super chat, bro. We'll come to that in a sec. Terry, we'll that one. Terry, this is why Sporting scare me. I like that comment. I like that comment there. Kane ahead of the ball. No controversy is what Sean Swain says here. Spurs were robbed because Harry Kane was behind the ball, is the claim being made. This super chat, this is from my guy, Jerome Hope, who says, look at the defender behind Kane. He was on the line. He was in line with Kane. So, yes, we got robbed. Let's take a look at the steal here again. I can't see from that angle.
He's not in line with Kane. Kane is clearly in front of him.
It does look in front of him. We need to get the other angle, that straight line angle. If anyone can find that on Twitter, KJ, and DM it to me, we'll get it up on the screen so people can see. Let's continue with these super chats here. KJ, those pagans are where they belong. Karma, Barca. Yeah, Barca. You know what's funny? I was hoping to do a video about Barca being out, but they went out 8 hours ago. They got dumped out before they played. It's getting hot. It is getting hot.
Oh, wait, now, listen, I want to do this, so I have to do it now. That you're just, what's the temperature saying?
It's hot.
Is it hot?
It's hot.
You know why? Because Barca getting cooked tonight, my brother. That's why, fam.
And Frankie de Jong as well. Frankie de Jong, you fool. You fool. Why did you stay? My God, my God is an awesome God.
Amen.
I need to read it down here. It's too far away in that little one. And the camera's in the way. So go and read it out for me.
Barcelona get ripped apart. No more levers can save them from Europa nights. Kunde and Rafinha are massive flops. And Genius played Alonso at center back. Bottle going Spursy.
Caps it. There we go. Clear offside back into your bedroom, Spurs fans. CR7 and Lewandowski in the Europa League. Yeah, that's a madness. That's a madness when you say it out loud. Can't be offside. 2 guys onside when the ball was played. KJ, nobody, and I mean nobody, is saying that Spurs played well. That decision at the end was shocking. That's what we are moaning about, is what DeRoma's got to say there. We'll find that other one. They can get a still for us. We'll get it up on the screen. Now Spurs know how City felt in 2019. Liverpool through is all that matters. Yeah. Sack him now. I'm done with this club. Spurs fan who wants Antonio Conte sacked. Will Mane and Salah meet in the round of 16? That'll be an interesting one. He's clearly offside. There's even another angle that shows half his body is past the ball. VAR made the correct decision. Don't understand the outrage. Someone actually sent me a message on Twitter, and it said that they think the referee, they were taking so long to try and award it because they knew it was a clear offside, and they were actually trying to find a reason to give it. And I'm like, that's a mad. It was an Arsenal fan who sent that to me, full disclosure.
I actually agree with that 110%. That had to be it.
I mean, if. Yeah.
Bodo Glimt beats PSV and gets second in the group, means Tottenham will get third in the Champions League. BG
knocks them out.
BG knocks them out. Can't wait. And maybe BG versus Barcelona. Who's BG?
Bodo.
Oh, Bodo Glimt. Sorry. Yeah, I get that. Listen, this is why, though, with Spurs might still qualify, but Spurs might come down. Barca coming down. Juve might come down. Atletico, I think they went out tonight as well.
So they're out of the Champions League. They might be in the Europa League. They might not be in the Europa League. So
but the point is, those teams could all come through. Man United and Arsenal need to win tomorrow night because you want to win your group. Yeah. Because you don't. It's not about playing those teams because you have to play them in the next round anyway. It's about the extra 2 games. Yeah. You don't want 2 more games this season.
Yeah, I think Arsenal need a draw. But
you've got to, whatever it is, you need a positive result.
All we're gonna say is we're running it back. Your UEFA Cup style. Europa nights are gonna be the greatest thing in Europe.
There's a comment here I want to go to. Dre says Jess is trying hard not to laugh. Is that true?
No, I'm laughing. Freely. I'm not trying. I'm not trying. Yeah, but you should have seen us before this. You should have seen me before this.
We were stressed. We were stressed. That game was stressful.
That game was amazing though. Like, and it was. Yeah. Do you know what's interesting? Like, a lot of the Champions League group stages are boring. At least Tottenham's group has been made entertaining. Liverpool's group, fairly entertaining. Like City's group, there's been no point watching it because it's been so easy for them. Yeah. And the reason why that group though has been so good is because all the teams in that group are similar levels.
And we said this from the start, but Spurs fans didn't want to hear it. We said Conte and Spursy will make this more difficult than it needs to be. I'm still sticking my prediction. Them man are going Europa League. Like I'm saying it. I said that from the start. I'll say it again. These men are going by the Europa League because going away now where the pressure is on, this is where Spursy activates. You know, this is where Spursy kicks in and they flop against Marseille. Like, honestly, Antonio Conte needs to change his style in Europe. If it's working for him in the league, and you can argue because Spurs' start to the league has been really good, fine, keep it for the league. But in Europe, Antonio Conte needs to change the way that they play, because too many teams are moving to them, bruv. They get moved to. Like it can't continue to happen. And this next game, obviously, is important, but this will for me cement that Conte is a Champions League bottler if he doesn't make it through.
I mean, a lot of people would say that it's.
Is that Patrick? Oh, I'm sorry.
I say this so often. Keep your powder dry. I'm going to put it on the screen in a moment. Let's not ruin it for the people. I have been sent this has been sent to me from White Hart Lane. We're going to get this up for you guys now and play this for you. Just bear with me just a second. We'll get it up on the screen, but I need to get my screen's right. So we'll put this in big. We'll put this in big for you, as you can all see here. And it's hard because I've only got one monitor to do this on tonight. Let's have a look at Patrick at the game. That smile.
Is that Craig David? Oh, okay.
That's mad. That's funny.
You know what's mad, yeah? When that goal got disallowed, that was us.
Do you know what's funny about football as well? People have said for a long time now that VAR has ruined football. And I get if you have a goal like that taken away from you, I get it. But I think it's added so much more to the conversation. You've actually also had the right results. Imagine if you're a sporting fan and then you go home and you see that it's offside. That's far worse than having a celebration taken away from you, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, they must have been so happy in that moment. And that smile.
That smile was big. And as you said, just a quick one on VAR. The biggest argument is, we don't get to celebrate if VAR if it's still there. What was this then? Like, what have we just seen from Patrick? If VAR takes away celebrations, fans will always celebrate. I love VAR. I hate it at the same time, but it's here to stay. So we just get used to it, baby.
And we all kind of know that, like, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't. It feels like this was it was a clear offside, and like the only issue is that it took so long. But yeah, sometimes your day and sometimes it's not. And today, it wasn't your day, Patty.
Yeah, they need to dust themselves off, fight again for another day.
Yeah.
Talking about fighting for another day, am I allowed to transition, Terry, into another team?
Yes.
Barcelona will not be fighting another day in the Champions League. Yeah, because these fraudsters, listen, I've been waiting for this. There's no amount of levers, no amount of brown envelopes, no amount of silver suitcases that can save you from your fraud, from your sins, you know what I mean? From your shame. You know what I'm saying? Them man did up foolishness to go and, try and win the Champions League. That man had PK come out saying, we're back in the tweets. You had Bartomeu and whatever the other man them are called, the side men of Barcelona, coming out, bowling around, saying this, that, and a third, like, yeah, we can do this, we can do that. You had Gerard Romero saying it's hot, things are happening. You know what I'm saying? What else was said, Jess? What else did my man say? Things are active and live. That might have been Terry, but I don't care. Listen,
that was him. I say it's on.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, but like,
things are happening, man.
Things are happening, yeah, and it's called Europa nights. That is what's happening for Barcelona, and they deserve this. I actually think they deserve this. They do.
Yeah, I mean, they were arrogant over the summer. I mean, you could see that they felt giddy about getting over on, I think some of the Premier League teams that were in for the same players that they were in for, and they spent money that they may or may not have. We don't know, but it's just one of those where Barcelona just don't seem to be improving the way that they probably should because of the players that they have. They're always going to do well in La Liga. La Liga only is like a 2-horse race, but they're their whole thing is about the Champions League, and this is the second season in a row where they're dropping into the Europa League. And last season they didn't even get to the final, which I think people expected them to like.
Yeah, they got knocked out early.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so I just wonder like what's going on there. But it is funny because they were arrogant over the summer. I mean,
no, they were. They got a little bit too big for their boots. Big up yourself, Stormzy, and. They've crashed and burnt, and they've actually been in most of the games I've seen them play in the Champions League. They have been comprehensively beaten or outplayed, outperformed in their games. And look, at the end of the day, they had a good summer in terms of some of their signings on paper. But when you're starting games, when you're buying Bellerin, who is one of the worst right backs in European football at the elite level, when you're putting Alonso in as a centre back, you're asking for this. You know, Frankie De Jong, foolish to stay, no doubt about it whatsoever. And even with like Lewandowski, man left the team where he's. But it doesn't make any sense when you look at it right now. Maybe in a year or two's time, we'll go. Actually, it made a lot of sense to move. But as it stands right now, that was a terrible, terrible move indeed. Some more super chats here. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Liverpool as well. Let's have a look at some of these comments here. Barca and Juve out, but they won't mind because they can just play each other every week in the Super League and both can win. Thank you, Dan. Once the ball comes off the defender, can't be offside. That's not true. There has to be a deliberate attempt to play the ball. So to clear it, to tackle, to pass maybe. Hit just banging on your leg doesn't count as a deliberate attempt to play the ball. Emerson was off, not Kane, because the ball came off the Sporting defender. Now, Emerson was onside. It was Kane offside from the header. Deflecting off a defender does not create a second phase of play. So that is not the case, my friend. Looks like it's just Arsenal fans who moan about VAR and refs. Loving this. Well, that's also what's very true here, is you often get, it's just Arsenal fans, and now suddenly another team is. No one's happy. But offsides are the one decisions which no one can moan about, because offsides are, like the ball crossing the line, are a matter of fact, or as close to being 100% accurate as you can be. The lines and the still shots are more accurate than the eye. They're more accurate than the eye. So, yeah, offside. But I understand why people feel like, Javerne, could you share the link for anyone that wants to call in? Obviously, I don't know. No Spurs fans have turned up again so far. I don't know what they're up to. We're going to talk a little bit of Mo Salah and a little bit of the rest of the games later, a bit of Liverpool. But I've got some packs to claim here on Tops tonight. So, first of all, scan that QR code. I know a lot of you signed up to this yesterday, but I smashed it. I killed KJ. What was your score in the end?
Okay, so
what was your score?
Disclaimer, yeah.
What was your score?
Disclaimer.
What was the score?
Disclaimer, terribly good.
What was the score, though?
I'll tell you the score, bro.
Just say it out loud.
I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to.
Oh, he's hiding it now.
No. I'm trying to find where will you show me? See details.
Come on.
I'm trying to
click on rank.
Okay, there we go.
Come on.
He's saying, come on. 2,128.18.
Camera back on me. 3,700. KJ smashed to pieces by me. And I have won. Look, I've got a ×3 Manuel Neuer card on its way to me. I've got a player I don't know. Noah Okafor, I don't know who that is. Okafor and Philippe Kostic. I've got. So I'm claiming those bad boys now so they're in.
You know what? Yeah.
Look at these. It's on the way in now. Oh, don't switch over. There we go. Well, there's my coins. There they are. There's Manuel Neuer. That's going to be a great money maker for me in the knockout phases, no doubt. And on top of that, I also won 3 packs on the Stardust Challenge as well tonight.
Yeah, where did you finish on that?
I finished. Waiting for it to load now. I finished ranked number 4.
No flipping way.
Yeah.
Who was it? Harry Kane?
Harry Kane.
I had Heung-min Son and finished ranked 25.
Hey, but I got. Did you get how many packs you win?
I got 3 though.
So we got 3 as well. So we're gonna open these packs on the air now. Let's see who I get in these packs, people. Because last night I got absolute dross. Calvin Mercy. 2.5 Vinny Jr. I'm happy with that. 2.5 Vinny Jr. and a 2.5 Christian Pulisic. That's not so great. Let's see the other packs here. What else am I getting? What else am I packing? Ruben Gossens. That's pretty decent. I'll take a 2.5 of him. Milan Skriniar. I've got 2 of him now. No. That might work out well. And a 2.5 of Christian Romero. He's off to the Europa League. That's not going to help. My final pack now. Final pack's opening now, people. Here we go. What's going to be in this? 2.5 Richarlison. 2.5 Guendouzi. And a 2.5 Alexis Salamancas.
Salamancas. Hey.
Average again.
Listen, my packs.
What do you get?
I got Ryan Jack. I got Calabria. I got Jonathan Klaus. Okay, dead. We'll move on. Quick.
Show up to the screen when it comes.
Oh, Jeremy Frimpong. Hey, come on, my guy. United linked to him. Right back / winger. Also got Enzo Fernandez, who's been smashing it in the Champions League this year for Benfica. And the best second goalkeeper at Chelsea, Edouard Mendy.
Edouard Mendy there.
Mendy, and then I got one more set. Here we go, a quick one. Oh, hey, 2.5 Bernardo Silva.
That's good. That's good. I got one of them.
I have some of that. I can't pronounce my man's name, but my man,
him there.
Yeah. CDK from AC Milan. And then, man like Flonzi.
So you got Messi last night, though, so not as good as that.
No.
I look at that. So my guy here predicted said he got a 2.5 Sterling, 2.5 Chilwell, 2.5 Sonny.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, decent. Let us know what packs you got tonight in your challenges, people. If you haven't started playing yet, you can still download the app for free. Link in the description. Or scan that QR code for us right about now. Before we go to the calls, though, I do want to share a big shout out. One player I want to shout out from the Spurs game, actually. And for some reason, I can't. Again, this TV screen that we have, that we see everything on, it always shrinks and I can't even see the side options. Another player that had a brilliant game tonight, I wanted to shout out my guy here, Marcus Edwards. You know, goal scored, chance created, good maintaining the possession, good pass completion. A thorn again in the side of Tottenham. Surely some Premier League teams are going to start looking at this guy.
100%. If they didn't start looking at him already, because he's already been known as a talented player, they're definitely looking at him now. And he's a perfect example of young English players building their career somewhere else abroad. It's not always about the Premier League. It's not always about staying in England to make your career. He obviously didn't work out at Spurs for whatever reason. He went to Portugal, built himself up, got a move to one of the biggest teams of Portugal, and now gets to display his skill on the big stage, and he is performing brilliantly. And I would love to see him back in the Premier League. I can see someone like a Villa, like a Crystal Palace, a team like that can bring him in, get him playing regular football, and then after that, it's about him and how he performs in the Prem. So I would love to see him back, but I'm happy that he's out there doing his thing and he's getting the props that he deserves, because today he was sensational. I think if he stays on, they win.
I mean, he deserved a goal from that run that he had in Lisbon. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad he got the goal today. It was a great individual effort, like with his left foot. And so, yeah, good player.
Yeah, he is. And I think maybe if I was him, I'd stay one more year because I think just keep playing regularly. Don't have the pressure of the Premier League, because you know everyone's raving about him right now. Once he joins a top 6 team, 80% of the Premier League then hates you. The media then put pressure on you. So maybe one more year of just developing and doing what it is that he does. Changing the subject slightly, and Liverpool won tonight. Not dodgy opening. Ajax were excellent in the opening sort of 25-30 minutes. Should have scored twice. Tadic had a good shot blocked by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and the post was struck as well. But you just knew, we sat in this room and said it. Once they'd missed those 2 chances, for me, that means Liverpool win. And then what we saw is Mo Salah turn on another Champions League masterclass. And I just wanted to say about Mo Salah, because it's only just over a week ago that we had Lee Gunner come on the terrace and state that Danny Welbeck is a better footballer. And for me, I don't think this is where your preference doesn't matter. Mo Salah has 41 goals, 16 assists, 1 Champions League title in 76 games played, and he's ranked as the 19th highest goal scorer in the history of the Champions League. You know, he's only 2 goals behind Neymar. And this is the thing, right? As great as Neymar is, you got Del Piero on that list and other players. If Mo Salah was really this bang average, quote unquote, footballer, and he was all just, he just scores tap-ins, he's just a goal scorer, you wouldn't have this level of consistency in what some call the hardest competition in the world. A lot of people say, including Sir Alex Ferguson, that the overall quality of the Champions League is often higher than the World Cup. And this guy is in the top 20 goal scorers of all time. He has a good level of assists. He's won the thing. He's been to 3 finals. I don't understand the slander he gets. And tonight, again, for me, was just another top-class, world-class performance. And the pass to set up Harvey Elliott for the goal was just out of this world.
I test merchants in the mud again. It's just not that, it's not that serious, you guys. You don't have to be, you know, a magician on the ball. You need to be efficient. But then I just feel like there's a weird agenda against Salah, because when I watch him, he's so exciting because he's quick, he's strong. He does a lot of things that I don't think people expect of him, especially a player of his stature. Like, he's a strong guy. Like, he's fun to watch. And so, yeah, like, get over that you need to see a winger do 50 step overs and do all this kind of stuff. Like, he's doing what matters in that position, which is score goals and get assists. And he's doing it efficiently and consistently at a very high level.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with knowing what you are. Like, people like expect so much from players, but they know they can't deliver that, but yet still expect it. It's weird. It's like a weird thing of, well, Salah doesn't do this, so he's bad. Well, we know he doesn't do that because he can't do that, or that's not his play style. Like, his style works. It works in this Liverpool team. It works in the Premier League. It works in Champions League. So you can only do it. All you can do is look at him and praise him. And if anything, praise the mentality of the guy. Because if you think he's limited, how the hell has a limited footballer got as many goals as he has?
And this
like,
is
it makes no sense.
And DR here says that stat merchants, man, I swear. But you don't stat pad to become one of to go inside the top 20 goal scorers of all time. When you look at the plethora of talent and quality around him, he's there or thereabouts. The pass he played into, this is what I mean by certain stats matter. That pass tonight to Harvey Elliott that cut open Ajax, that set up a goal, it isn't just an assist. It's an astonishingly well-weighted, perfectly timed pass. Average footballers don't do that as regularly as Mo Salah does it. They don't score the goals that Mo Salah scores as regularly if you're not brilliant. I think what it comes down to is this. It's the skill set Mo Salah has. I think you've kind of alluded to this. It doesn't aesthetically please certain football fans in the right way, but that doesn't mean he isn't good. It means he's different from you. And I always give this example. Some people will honestly say that Drake is a better singer than Pavarotti, but there is no way of knowing. It comes down to taste in music. If you're not a fan of opera, you're definitely going to prefer Pavarotti to Drake. But they're both brilliant in their own genres, in their own ways. Mo Salah is a brilliant inside forward. Is he as good as dribbling as Messi? No. Is he as good a passer as Xavi? No. Is he as good at the intricate little footworks and skills at the edge of the box as a Dennis Bergkamp? No. But he's a better goal scorer than 2 of those players. He's a more prolific player than the majority of Premier League players in the last 20, 30 years. That's his skill set. He knows how to get into the right place at the right time to finish these opportunities. The amount of players that can't score goals are brilliant. I'll give you a great example. David Silva, one of the best footballers the Premier League has ever seen, in my opinion. But you know what? When it comes to finishing, that guy scored goals. The guy created goals, but he weren't the best finisher. He'd sometimes miss chances where you're thinking, got to put that away, mate. Because he had that one skill set missing, does that take away from all his brilliance? No. It's just that there was that one element he didn't have. I'm not saying Mo Salah is world-class at every attribute of football, but as an overall football player, you don't score, assist, create with the consistency that he does in the hardest league and the hardest cup competition in the world for 4, 5, 6 years and be an average baller.
Yeah.
Eye test or passing your eye test or not is irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
It makes me laugh that one of the things people say is about not just Mo Salah, but other players like Haaland or at the time Bruno Fernandes players. Like, all they do is score goals. I'm like, so all they do is the main objective of the sport. You know what I mean? Which is to score more goals than the other team, so therefore you win. Like, it makes it like, it's so, when you think about it logically, it's actually dumb. It's actually dumb to be upset with someone who scores goals. Like, why would you be upset with that? Like, I don't get it.
We've definitely gotten into a different era of football. Like, there were players that were super skillful back in the day, but they had numbers to back it up. We just weren't obsessed with stats. Now, all of a sudden, it's people can get away with just looking good on the ball without doing anything. And I don't know why that's creeped in, but it's definitely creeped in.
Well, I think what it is, I mean, yeah, I did compare Drake to Pavarotti, but they're both singers. You know, Messi and Mo Salah are both footballers, but they're different type of footballers. Even in the same roles, they go about things differently. And I think what people do, though, is they cotton onto things, go, right, I'm going to say that these 2 or 3 attributes are the epitome of a great footballer. That way, you single out players like Mo Salah, you single out Haaland. I mean, in some people's cases, they even put like Mbappe into that situation. And it's like, you do realize that I've never met a professional footballer that doesn't regard scoring goals as the hardest thing to do in football. So a lot of footballers believe that scoring those goals out regularly is harder than threading the balls through. So if that goal scoring is harder, that makes them better footballers. It is what it is. But yeah, everyone's going to have a difference of opinion. But I don't even care that people don't put him in the top 100 footballers of all time. But don't keep saying he's average. It's the average tag that I think is highly disrespectful. Let's do these super chats now. Go on. No. Okay, I'll have a look at that in just a second. Let's do these super chats here. Mahrez, a better footballer than Salah. Stop overrating Salah. World-class goal scorer, but not a world-class footballer.
No one said he's a world-class overall footballer. You know what I mean? No one said that. We just said he is like world-class at what he does, which is goals, like scoring goals. So why this
is the thing. I don't know what Mahrez's goal scoring and assisting record is at Manchester City, but I'm going to hazard a guess in the last 5 years, Mo Salah has been more efficient. So you can keep all of Mahrez's skills all you want. I'm still picking Mo Salah because at the end of the day, he's going to score and assist you more goals. He is going to make more of an impact in games where it matters. And by the way, I think Mahrez is absolutely sensational, but I do think Mo Salah is better.
At some point, they're going to start calling him like a goal-scoring merchant or an efficiency merchant.
Well, that will come out.
Goal merchant.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, but you're only prolific and you only score loads of goals and this and that. Terry, that Hendo pass, oh my days, world class. Love to see Arsenal versus Barca. Can't wait, is what Stephen here says. Should Barca sack Xavi? Is he overrated? Pep's tax. Look, I don't think they should. I think that this club is in the middle of a huge rebuild. This club has gone through huge turmoil. They need to give him time, in my opinion.
It wasn't give them time in prison.
Yes. But, Anyway, not the people that are there now. That's previous people, and that's just allegations and everything else. Right, let's go to some calls now, people. First up, Tom Little's here to talk about Liverpool. Let's get through these. Let's go. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. You know what? That actually wasn't a very enjoyable game for the majority of it. That wasn't a very enjoyable game. We're not a very enjoyable team at the minute, but we won 3-0. Mo Salah is world class. I don't care what anyone says. He's world class. He's one of the best footballers in the world. And you can bring me a Riyad Mahrez. When was the last time Riyad Mahrez scored a penalty? I could just call him a pen missing merchant. It doesn't matter. But there's someone that I need to talk about today. Darwin. Darwin.
Speak on him, please.
He's the maddest footballer I think I may have ever seen. The man has missed from 3 yards out because he stretched for it on his weak foot. And then I just go head one in when being dragged down by 2 people instead. It's like, you know when you're too good at something and he thinks he's too good at it, so he goes, I'll score the harder one. I'll miss the easy one. I'll score the harder one. That's just more fun for me. Just put the easier one in. Don't make me go in 1-0 half time with you missing from 3 yards out. Have you seen Bobby Firmino about to wheel away celebrating?
Tom, it was harder to miss. Like, it legit was harder to miss that open goal than it was to score that header that he scored. That is what I don't get, my friend. Like, what? Okay, so Klopp's put him to the wing now. Like, he played him left wing today. Am I correct? I assume that he did. Do you think that's
do not ask me what we played today. We played a diamond 4-3-3, 4-4-2,
yeah,
whatever.
I didn't get it. Look, I think with Darwin Núñez, because of his lack of technical ability, he will miss a number of chances per season, like Lukaku does, where you think, how did you miss that? And that's because he's awkward. That's because people that lack technical ability with their feet, it's often their balance and body position. And there'll be some times this year where he's going to get chances where you as a fan go, goal, and he somehow misses it. And Lukaku did that for Man United a lot. And then he'll go and get another one exactly the same 5 minutes later, and he'll hit it so sweetly. He did it for you guys the other day. I don't remember which game it was. he had a shot on his right foot that like smashed the post, and it was like, oh, so close. And then he went to hit with his left foot and he missed it. And it was like watching Jekyll and Hyde, and that's going to be him for you. But the most important thing is, Tom, you're through though. You go on to the next round. At least you can. Do you want to win is it important to win the group now, or is it a case of let's just rotate and focus on the league?
I don't think we can win. I think we've got to beat Napoli, who are like 13 wins in a row in all comps, by 3 goals or more. So I'm not expecting anything from it. I think it's one of the ones where I'd still play a relatively strong team. I don't want to go out there and just play all the kids, because I don't think Napoli will go weak, and it'll be a bit of a big hit for them. But there's nothing really riding on it. We're into the next round.
Yeah, we've
not been great this season, but we've got the World Cup coming up. We've got a big long break. The January transfer window. Please, for the love of all that's holy, buy some central midfielders. Our best central midfielder this season has been a right winger who has had to play there. Please buy central midfielders. And then this is our only hope for a trophy this year. I think. I don't think we're going to take the cup seriously. I really don't think he's going to take the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup seriously. I think it'll be another one where he plays a bunch of kids. So if we want something out of this season, which we should be expecting, considering the squad that we've got, the players that we've got, it's the Champions League or bust for us. So fingers crossed, but good result. Bit of a poor performance.
I hear you, mate. Listen, we'll speak soon, Tom. Top man, thank you very much indeed. It's one of those ones. I've said this before. The Champions League, when you go through like this, it is very boring. That's why we're going to speak to Tottenham fans now, people. First up, Jerome's with us. The question is, Jerome, I know you can hear me. Were you robbed?
Robbed. Big time robbed. But man,
tell us why.
World Cup coming. Look, the offside. First of all, they are saying it's before the goal. So that means the offside was Emerson. For some reason, they keep saying it was Emerson. And the line, you can see, they are saying they are putting it on Emerson. But he's not offside for no reason, because he's in line with the defender that's behind Kane. So how can you say he's offside? And then when he headed up, touched the defender, Kane scored it. What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong with this. That's a shocking decision. And they can't even explain to you who was clearly offside. It took them 4 minutes. VAR decision should be clear and obvious, right? So how was it clear and obvious? It took them 4 minutes to make that decision.
Jerome,
so, come on.
The thing is, offside isn't about clear and obvious. Offside is whether it is or it isn't. So it can be 0.5 millimeter, and if it is, it is. It's not about a clear and obvious mistake. But
so what?
I haven't yet seen any angles that show the defender behind Harry Kane.
Yeah, we didn't see the one behind it, like the other side. We just showed from this angle, and they just said it was before, like, the attacking play. So that means it was on Emerson. But I don't understand how we can say that. It's not Harry Kane. Definitely, it was not Harry Kane. The line was... No, it's not. The line that they are looking at was on Emerson. If you look at it properly, they were putting the line on Emerson, not Harry Kane.
Yeah, but that's because the ball was on Emerson's head.
Yes. So that's it, Jerome. So what they've done is that they haven't lined it up to a defender because the ball was behind all the defenders. So as long as Harry Kane is behind the ball, he's onside. But so the line is measured from. The line isn't measured on Emerson. The line is measured from the left hand side of the ball. So does that make sense? So they're measuring from where the ball is, and Harry Kane's in front of the ball. Therefore, he's offside. So the line isn't measuring Emerson; it's measuring the ball. And you could argue it's also measuring Emerson because he's headering the ball. But that's why they're not lining it up against the defender.
Yeah, but look, the thing is, even the commentator was saying, look, it hit the defender and it got back to Kane. So the thing is, I know offside is offside. You're going to tell me offside is offside, whatever the decision is.
Let me ask you a question, Jerome. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. How happy were you with the performance today again from Antonio Conte's men?
Oh man, can't the World Cup come any closer? I am so sick of it. I can't. Like the first half was just horrible, horrible first half. I am not gonna give them any praise whatsoever. They deserve the boot they get when the whistle went for the first half. They deserve every boost that was in the stadium, and it was loud. You could hear it properly. When they came up the second half and like what changed men completely, it was a game of two halves. And even that, we could have lost this game. All right. If that kid didn't miss that goal, that was it. It was 2-0. We were done. So it was finished. But still, I am not going to give them any praise today. I'm not giving them praises.
No,
All I'm saying is a bat on that decision, but I'm not giving them any praises.
I hear you on that. Jerome, I hear you on that, my friend. Thank you very much for coming on, bro, and having your say. Up next on the show, we've got Dan, big Spurs fan. Were you robbed, my friend? Do you feel hard done by?
Yeah, look, over here in America, I've got a refereeing certificate. So in my personal opinion as a referee, I think that that's not offsides. But what I would like to see, I'm not going to say that if it was earlier on in the game, I don't think Spurs fans would care that much. Let me be completely honest, because I think it was more, everybody's caring about it more because it was more towards the end of the game. And now everybody was celebrating. Oh, come on, it was offside. I think that's why more people are caring about it. But what I would love to see is, I don't understand why VAR decisions, it always has to be in an angle of the camera. Why can't they just put it in the line and you could see exactly if it was offside or not?
Well, because the camera the camera doesn't do that. That's why the lines make up for it because of geometry. But can you explain to me as a referee why it's not offside? That's what I'm intrigued to hear.
Well, there's
What
many.
level do you referee at? That's my question.
Well, the level that I referee at, the level that I referee at,
or what?
there's not even offsides where I referee because it's like little kids and they don't play with offsides.
I love you, my brother. I love you so much, fam.
No, but I had to take a whole course and I had to learn the offsides rule, obviously.
So why is that not offside in your opinion?
There's many reasons. First of all, it bounces off the defender. By the name of the law, it can't be a deflection and go to Kane. But if you actually look at it, it's not a deflection. He almost like swings his knee to like clear out with his knee, and then it goes to Harry Kane. So it's not a deflection. That's one reason. Another reason for me, in my angle, it looks like he's behind the ball. But Terry, there isn't a camera that goes across the pitch that looks at that follows the ball.
Yeah, it's not a VAR camera.
But they can still use it.
I don't think they have the feed.
No, it's got to be designated VAR cameras. However, the geometry of the lines, you don't need to be in line with the camera because the lines are, like, from a mathematical point of view, they're as accurate. They're more accurate than the eye.
I get that, but then it would be more clear for us as viewers. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, no, I do agree with that. I do agree. But if the line showed him as onside, would you then moan that there wasn't a direct line camera to show you that it was 100% onside, or would you go with the lines?
I'd be celebrating right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I think Spurs fans care more about this decision more because it was so late in the game and it was so dramatic and it was so emotional.
It was amazing. There's fans on the pitch. We saw Patrick smiling for the first time in 2 or 3 weeks.
I tore apart my room. If you want the clip for your fan channel reaction,
You see the bed mash up and that.
He knocked over his chocolate milk and everything.
I fixed it up right now. I literally lifted up my whole mattress and threw it across my room.
That'd be viral content. Dan, talk to me about the performance, brother.
Honestly, I thought the second half was a lot better. And this is what I was talking about last time I came on, about the personality, about the character in this team. When we went down to Man United, when we went down, I don't know why, but I can't recall the team that we lost to last week. But Newcastle, when we went down, we didn't show characteristics that we wanted to get back into the game. This time, at least we showed at the end of the game that we were pushing for a goal. That second half was a lot better. But my problem is, why can't we change it to that earlier? Why can't we perform like that earlier? And that just shows to you that it's not the football, because that's Antonio Conte's tactics right there. It's the player's mentality. It's the player's ability. They can't do the simple things. That's why it looks like the football is bad. When you mess up a sloppy pass, when you can't do the simple things, it looks like the football is bad. But it's not actually the tactics, because the tactics have been proven all around Europe. Conte does not need to prove himself. It's the players that need to prove himself.
So what you're saying is the players are average.
Bang average.
I'm glad somebody has a chest to say it. Everything behind that front line is average. Like, is it not?
No, I'm not saying the players aren't average because they are, but I think there's a difference between the player that Conte has a game plan that works all the time and the players are average, and Conte's game plan is also average and the players are average. I think Conte's game plan is just average. In the Champions League, for what you need to do, it's not the right game plan. And you say it's just on the players, but I don't, because it's not like they're doing this for like 15 minutes and then they play good football and then another 15 minutes. Like, that's the mentality issue. They do this for like 18 minutes straight, my brother. That for me is straight up tactics. That's what he wants.
Conte needs a different level of player. Like, let's say he had, instead of Longley, he had Bastoni. You could play that dead football with better players.
Yeah,
and you get it over the line.
If he didn't have Højbjerg and he had Casemiro, you know, that would make him better. If he didn't have Emerson Royale and he actually played Jed Spence, it could be better. You know, if it had gone and signed James Maddison, a bit of extra creativity. That's the problem you guys have, is when you need to create, it's very, very hard to. But Dan, listen, I really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say as ever. And we'll chat to you again soon, bro. Okay, take care, my friend. Thank you. I tweeted earlier saying, "Were Chelsea robbed by VAR?" Most people saying no. I had the best response I've ever had in my life on Twitter. Someone just responded with a hope so. It tickled me so much. I hope they got robbed. That's actually funny. Who are we going to chat to next? Who's backstage here? Big Six, Bants, Man Light, Monty's here. What you saying, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's everyone? You know what I'm saying? Just coasting through like no one thought we was going to do. You know what I'm saying? People were scared, you know, after the Napoli game. People had a lot to say. But, yeah, it's good 3 points. I mean, what can I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel overall with the performance of Liverpool? Like, getting back to where you should be, still worried that you opened up, or what we saying?
Hell no. Like, let's be honest. First opening 20 minutes, we easily could have been 2-0 down. Let's have it right. Liverpool are not in a position to be dictating how we can win games. You know what I'm saying? I think expectations need to be readjusted in performance-wise. And when you have not won a single game away from home in the league, and you've only won 2 games away from home all season, you cannot dictate how you should win a game away from home. You take what you can get points wise, and you run with it. It's just that simple. I understand that people are, you know, microanalyzing players a lot, and rightly so, because the fall off has been astronomical. However, the fact that we're able to comfortably get through the group that people were questioning us about is still a positive. I think Mo Salah was a ridiculous finish today. I don't think many, like, if certain other players do that, we are screaming and shouting. So I think he deserves his plaudits. Harvey Elliott again getting the second goal. There's a lot of positives to take away from the game, but I do think a stronger team does punish us during that game. Darwin Núñez misses a sitter, then scores a really good header. That man is just chaos. He's not my piece of cake. I think Liverpool are a worse team trying to accommodate for Darwin Núñez. But if he's getting his goals, and as I said, we can't really legislate for how we play, just get the win, then fair enough. So I'm on the fence of it, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
No, do you know what's funny as well? Like, Darwin doesn't make your team play as good at football, which is why I push back so hard on the claim that Mo Salah is an average footballer, because Darwin Núñez is maybe the epitome of an average technical footballer, and you see it damage your style of play. Mo Salah, when he came to Liverpool, made you better in every single way. It's crazy the disrespect that man gets. As you say, 41 Champions League goals. No Premier League footballer has ever scored this many Champions League goals. You know, I mean, think of the thing. He's outscored Thierry Henry as a Premier League player, Wayne Rooney, Sergio Aguero. These are looked at as maybe the 3 Premier League goats. They're
the goats. Yeah.
Mate, it's crazy. And all the footballers, I mean, most people would say Eden Hazard strips Mo Salah in every single attribute. I swear Eden Hazard's only scored about 6 Champions League goals in his life. 6 or 7?
You know, you also need to remember, Terry, that you see Salah, let's be honest, this year hasn't been his best year. Let's be honest. He's not been what the Mo Salah we know. But on 2 occasions, I'm pretty sure Hazard went a season scoring 1 or 2 goals. He went a whole season and scored on the final day. Let's not forget Hazard's moments of where he was being criticized heavily. Do you know what I'm saying? I think again, sometimes it's a popularity contest, and what you put it perfectly. Sometimes people measure preference with what they compared to what is actually effective. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and if it's not your preference, it don't mean they're a bad player. It doesn't mean that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah, but that's football nowadays. That's football fans. Your
100%.
eye test is the supreme thing, and if you don't pass it, then you are terrible. When that terrible player is outscoring all your strikers in your team combined. So yeah, it's and
that's for me why Mo Salah's so good. Even when he's playing badly, he is still scoring. He's still impacting games. He's still winning games, and it's a team sport at the end of the day. And ironically, when Eden Hazard was having these bad seasons or wasn't performing to the highest level, all I ever heard from Chelsea fans was it's because he's surrounded by crap and no one else is performing. Mo Salah has a bad game, and it's nice because he's dragging the team down. I just hate the inconsistencies with the theories there. But listen, Mons, really appreciate you coming on, mate, and giving your say. We'll chat again soon, bro. Thank you very much indeed. We had an interesting super chat, and I've read it while we're back, and I didn't get it. Maybe I'm misreading it. It says, as a gooner, done with your fakeness. Husband is a known pro ref. Always says you folks saying something is a fact, laughable. At least 3 different parts. Tonight's decision is only interpretation based. Full.
Wait, okay. So I think she's saying that her husband's a known ref.
Yeah, I get that bit. But who's fake? Is it because we're saying things are facts and we're wrong? Listen, Diana, is it? Diana, get hubby to call in, babe. Get him to call in.
Bakayoko, yo, is your brother-in-law Bakayoko from Chelsea? Is it that?
Oh, maybe.
Because
there's been 2. I swear there've been 2 Bakayokos at Chelsea. It was a really good Bakayoko years ago. I forget his first name now. But yeah, listen, I mean, it's not fakeness. It's my opinion. I think it's onside, according to the UEFA referees tonight. But I'd love to know who is your husband. How?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Tell us.
Tell us who he is.
Tell us, because he's a known.
Because by the way, depending on who you say, it depends if we trust him or not. If you're out here saying like Bobby Madley, do you know what I mean?
What happens if it's Chelsea's old enemy, Anthony Taylor?
Can you imagine? She's like, yeah, my husband's Anthony Taylor. Or Howard. If it's Howard Webb, then I'll say, listen, I'll respect Howard Webb.
Big Mark Clattenburg, fam.
It could be Clattenburg. Do you know who I miss as a referee?
Selena.
Nah, Araya Rennie.
Who?
You don't know who Araya Rennie was?
Who is
See,
that?
these kids, bruv. These kids.
Wait, what kind of ref is this?
Araya Rennie, I think he's, to this date, still the only black referee in the Premier League.
No, in the Prem. Oh, yeah, man, I knew one called Trev.
Trev!
Trevor Parks.
Come on.
Yeah, Trevor Parks. He refed in Championship.
No, Araya Rennie was a proper ref. Did his thing.
How many like Premier League games did he get?
A lot. When I was a kid, he was regular in the Premier League. Raps backstage. He was regular when we were kids, right? It was around all the time, Araya Rennie. Like, he was, yeah, proper.
Oh, you can tell Raps is also up there with Terry with the age, man.
The offside rule is not the only reason Spuds drew the match. Performance was dreadful. Sporting should have been 2 goals up. Get over it.
They need to thank Pedro Porro for even getting that chance to score that goal. We were sitting there.
Went to the corner.
30 seconds to go. He's got it. It's like, bro, just put it on. Go over there. Put it in the corner, or if you're gonna put it to the side and whip it in, make it hard for them to get the ball back. This guy blazes it over the flipping bar.
That's the only reason why they had those 30 seconds at the end of the game. It could have been done if he had not seen his name in lights. It was crazy.
When that goal went in, though, you should have all been in this room. I always panic with last-minute goals, so I've got to get thumbnails done, update everything, right? These two are silent. It was like a funeral in here. And then you get that moment where the camera cuts to the referee and it says goal check, and the excitement started to bubble in this room. And we had multiple games on, and by then the other games had finished. So all the cameras went to this game, and honest to God, and the way these two celebrated, you thought they were from Lisbon. It was an interesting one.
I've been Portugal.
How have we not spoken about the Atletico penalty miss? So I've only just seen it. Have you seen it?
Yes.
It is. Listen. It was absolutely sensational. When I first saw it, I thought it's either going to be a crazy miss or I thought we were going to get another Troy Deeney moment.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we might get. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. That penalty miss, if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. Atty in the mud. They've got to sack Diego Simeone for me. And at the same time, it's like you sack him and you free João Felix.
Yes.
Man United need a striker. One Portuguese out, another Portuguese in. João, we'll be more than happy to have you come live in the UK, come live in Manchester. I reckon you'll forge a brilliant partnership with the brilliant Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. You obviously know him very, very well. Get yourself over him, my old mate, and do it. Her husband is Ronnie Pickering. Oh, that's funny. You don't know what Ronnie Pickering is, do you?
No.
That honestly, one of the best. We'll show when we're done. We'll show it to you. It's one of the best viral moments ever. Mahrez is the definition of average. He's been ghosting for the past 3 seasons with one big goal in a big game to pass by. As 10 people to define a footballer, you'll get 10 different answers, and that's what's very, very true. That's why I kind of go by, well, as an attacker. As good or bad as I think someone looks, I do look at the goals. I do look at the overall. It's a bit like I don't know if you've seen my video today about Gabriel Jesus. This is the irony. The same people that will say Mo Salah average footballer will also turn around and go, Gabriel Jesus, he can't be great. He's only got 5 goals. But you're ignoring the hold-up play, the pressing, the dribbling ability, how he draws defenders out of position, just the overall presence that he's had in his team to elevate Arsenal to another level. That's all being ignored because he's only got 5 goals. Although he's got 5 goals and 4 assists, which means he's scored or assisted in 81% of Arsenal's games, which is world-class outputs for a forward. So we pick and choose when we want to use stats and when we don't. You know, Bruno Fernandes' stats were irrelevant because he wasn't a good footballer. Gabriel Jesus' stats are absolutely relevant because they're not at the same level as a Harry Kane. Therefore, nothing he's doing is worthwhile. That's my problem with people, is they're not consistent in their thoughts on players. Terry, what's the best player on Top Kicks 23? Well, there is no...
Your best player.
It's your best player. It's about predicting. What's really good about the game as well, by the way, we've only just learned this, right? So unlike normal fantasy games where you pick your team for the week and you go with it, during that you get up to 100 subs in a game over both days, where you can sub people in and out. So it could be like yesterday, Rafa Silva's in great form. You think, well, I want to bring him into my team and take somebody else out. Equally, if someone scores and you quickly sub them in, you get the points that they just gained. So it's a very fast-moving game. You've got to be in the app throughout the course of the match. But like, I had Neymar in my team this week. He obviously scored. It's about you picking who you think is going to have good games. And don't just think strikers, because every save a goalkeeper makes, you earn like 20-odd points. So if a goalkeeper has a great game, like the Sporting goalkeeper that you had in tonight, it earns you loads of points. So learn the game, get it downloaded. It's a great amount of fun. And also you get some great cards to collect as well.
To answer the question, your best player is Neymar.
No, my best player this week was... Neymar was very, very good for me, but I'm now forgetting who the player was. It was the guy who scored 2 goals tonight for Porto.
Oh, Taremi,
yes, he was my best. He was my best performer. It wasn't just the goals; it was a level of forward passes, how infrequently he lost the ball. So he was brilliant for me. I think he earned me something like 700 of my points. Yeah, it was great.
I had Robertson getting an assist with a defender. Insane amount of points. Robbo, shout out, man. Great.
I could see the happiness in Jess's face, just like me. Big up both of you. Both you guys love TFT family show. Favorite show from Melbourne. Thank you for bigging up us two. Poor KJ.
I say, bro, I'm just
sitting there in the spare room. But yeah, thank you very much, Stephen. Of course, he's just bigging up his fellow Gooners, isn't he? He's just bigging up Jessica Black and Terry Flowers. Rax on the show now. What are you saying, Rax?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, guys. Glad we got the win. We're still not back. We got the win, but we're still looking far from convincing. But what we do show is that this team, given opportunities, can take the game away from the opposition very, very quickly. Against Rangers, we were drawing 1-1 at half time, and we score 3 or 4 goals in quick succession. The game's done. Today, we score 3 goals in relatively quick succession, 1 before half time, 2 after half time. The game's done. So we're capable of that. But yeah, in terms of general play, still leaves a lot to be desired. Where, as Monster said it, we're far from where we need to be right now. But you know, we just got to hang in there, and maybe our fortunes will change. Maybe something will click, and then we'll see what happens. I wanted to just talk about the. So, if you want to say something, that's fine. I just want to mention about the.
No. People are saying my tweets on BT Sport. Someone screenshot it and sent it to me. I want to know what tweet. I tweet a lot of stuff, so I don't know what it is. Maybe it was asking if Spurs were robbed. Yeah, maybe it's that one. They didn't share the one with the link to my show, did they?
No, never.
So go on, Rat. Continue, mate.
All right. So the whole Mo Salah thing, like people normally when people say whether a footballer's a good footballer, normally what they're talking about is their technical, the technical side of their game. But broadly speaking, the skill set of a footballer are broken down into four main areas: technical, tactical, physical, and mental. Now, you may say Mahrez is a better technical footballer than Salah, but is he a better physical footballer than Salah? Is he a better, in terms of mental ability? You know, in the final moment of a game, who's going to come up clutch for you, Mahrez or Salah? Physically, is Mahrez going to give you as much physical output as Salah? Salah gets back, gets forward, he defends, he attacks. The other day, the goal we scored against City, that was a primary example. He ran off Kevin De Bruyne, so he was switched on. He controlled the ball. That was a technical aspect, and physically he turned his body, shielded it from Cancelo, and then he went on to finish. So, like, you can say, okay, Mahrez is better in one particular aspect, but people ignore the other aspects of what being a good footballer is, and they're just looking. And don't get me wrong, the technical aspects of football are why we love football, right? Those are the magic moments. Why do people love Zidane? Zidane wasn't the best. I mean, he was strong physically, but he wasn't up and down, box to box, and all that kind of stuff. But he was just graceful, beautiful player to watch, and all that kind of stuff. So I understand it. Yeah. But if you're going to critique a player, you need to look a little bit deeper.
No, mate, I totally agree. And just because your preference isn't met doesn't, like, I look at it this way. I wouldn't date you, but you are a good-looking man. That's how I look at it. Do you know what I mean? You're a good-looking man, but I wouldn't personally go out on a date with you because you're not my preference. And I think that's the fairness here when it comes down to it. And that's the way I kind of look at these things. Do you know what I mean? KJ, on the other hand, what are you doing later?
Listen. Don't blaspheme on my name, please.
Listen, Rack, pleasure to always speak to you, my friend, and we'll chat to you again soon. Top man. Thank you.
Rack says something that upset me a little.
What did he say?
He said, technical football and technical ability is why we fell in love with the game. And I'm just like, where's the love for PNP? PNP.
Yeah, but the problem is with PNP is you're allowed to talk about it and love it. Like, if I've doctored my speech for years now. I don't refer to those attributes as power and pace. I refer to them as speed and athleticism. Because if you get clipped saying them about I remember once I said about a player, I turned around once, but I was talking about Pogba, and I said, I didn't say he had great speed. He was fast over distance, not over short time. But I said he had great. I remember once there was a stream I did where I said he had great power and pace. His technical ability is amazing. His vision is out of this world. And I just love the way he conducts the midfield. Someone clipped the bit where I just said Paul Pogba's got PNP, and I'm like, yo, I'm not even mentioning it again. No being clipped up for me.
Well, listen, PNP is the greatest. You don't get goals like Bale versus Barcelona without PNP. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, look, I think PNP is a great skill set to have as long as you've got other
technical unless you got
to match with. Because actually, if you actually look at Mo Salah, he's fast. He's strong. So he has PNP within his touch, his skill, his dribbling, his shooting. That's where you want to have it. If you have it as an added attribute, you're in a good position.
It's the difference between, remember, we're doing our PNP 11. It's the difference between having Antonio in your team and Mbappe.
Between Mo Salah and Adama Traore and your team.
Yeah, exactly. Some just have the PNP as their main attribute, where the others, it's complementary. You know, it's
Give me 11 Adama Traore's and I'll win the league.
You won't score a goal.
You wouldn't score anything. Viewers, listen, do me a big favor and make sure you're hitting the like button for us. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Please get Top Kicks downloaded. We're going to go into the final week of the group stages next week. And when the knockout stages begin, that game is going to be fire. I want you all to come and follow me. We are going to give out a Champions League shirt of your choice to the lucky winner, to someone who downloads it and follows me on there. So once you download it, just search Football Terrace. It's me. Follow me over on Top Kicks 23, and one of you lucky people will win a Champions League shirt of your choice. I want to say a big thank you to my co-hosts and panelists tonight, KJ and Jessica Black. To all of my viewers, you were amazing. Super chatters, you're absolutely fantastic. My subscribers, I love you with all my heart. Javern over there on the technical desk doing his thing, chilling. He's been eating. I don't know what else he's been doing over there. He's been having a good time, laughing at us and all that.
This is what you need. You need your mic, boy. We get your mic next week, man.
And as this show returns for the knockout stages, there's going to be brand new elements to it. And also, very soon, a brand new studio for the Football Terrace. So keep your eyes open for that. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Look after yourselves. Make sure you're safe. Spurs fans, I just want to say commiserations for whatever it is that you feel tonight. And take care. Goodbye. God bless.
Peace.